熊水し3枚に下ろしたつもりだったんだが、やはり弱いな、お前。
Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 is a shonen supernatural action anime filled with spirits, curses, cursed powers, and techniques all centered around a high school student named Yuji Itadori. When he's not at the school spending time with his friends and the paranormal occult club, he's at the hospital where he visits his bedridden grandfather, who doesn't have long left to live. However, this simple day-to-day lifestyle soon takes a turn for the worse when he unknowingly discovers an ancient and powerful cursed item, triggering a chain of supernatural events that lead Yuji into a world of curses and curse-wielding sorcerers. The cursed item uncovered by Yuji is just a simple finger, but this finger belongs to one of the anime's most powerful antagonists, Sukuna Ryomen, also known as the King of Curses. Yuji experiences firsthand the threat that these spirits pose to society, as well as an awakened newfound power within himself that he vows to use for good in order to protect his friends and the world around him, so that one day, when he does eventually die, he will not be alone inside of a hospital room like his grandfather, but instead will be surrounded by his friends and loved ones. He's quickly introduced and enrolled to the Tokyo Metropolitan Jiu-Jitsu Technical High School, where he will begin to walk down a path that he can never return from, the path of the Jiu-Jitsu sorcerer. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 was released from October 2020 to March 2021. The season is fully dubbed with 24 episodes in total, and each episode is just about under 25 minutes long. You can watch it on Crunchyroll, Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Max with a subscription, or you can buy it on Amazon Prime. At the time of recording this video, the second season is already out and completed, and the third season is airing and will be wrapping up soon. All the seasons have been produced by Studio Mappa, one of the best animation studios that there is. Jujutsu Kaisen is one of those animes that, when I first started watching it, I was doing a bunch of other things in my apartment, like cooking and cleaning, or just moving stuff around, but then very quickly I stopped doing all that other stuff and just became laser focused on the anime and nothing else. I think most people at this point will have heard about this one, and will probably agree with me in that it's one of the best shonen animes out there. It hits on all cylinders with great character development, interesting plotline, fun and well animation, action scenes, and everything else you could want from a supernatural action thriller. I also watched this in the dub, and I feel like the voice acting is pretty on point, and no one stuck out to me in any negative way. Now, to be fair, when I say that this season has characters growing, it does, but a lot of it circles around Yuji, which makes perfect sense since he's the protagonist. And a lot of his growth involves learning how to control his new powers, rather than a change in beliefs or worldview, although a bit of that happens too. The first season introduces a good chunk of characters, involving teachers, students, curses, and even a few one-offs, so not everyone is going to get a full character arc to go on. I will say though, for most of the students, the season highlights each one and establishes what everyone's motivations are, as well as their power levels and how they compare to one another. But to give a specific example without spoiling too much, there's an episode where Yuji is faced with the prospect of not only killing curses, but humans as well. We're introduced to the idea that curses are all evil, but when the death of an innocent person is thrown into the mix, Yuji struggles with the morality behind it. This value he places on life remains consistent with his character from the beginning, but it's tested more and more as the season goes on, forcing him to face these circumstances and either crumble apart or become stronger as an individual. This mental and emotional trial by fire becomes manifested in his abilities to use more powerful cursed techniques as time goes on, like the Black Flash, in the hope that fewer people will die as he continues to grow stronger. Another surprising thing about this anime is, in spite of its dark themes and sometimes bleak atmosphere, is the comedy in it. There's some great moments of levity that do a good job giving personality to different characters and giving them good chemistry with one another. One of my favorite scenes is when Todo asks Megumi about what his favorite type of woman is, and then goes on to explain how he himself wants a girl who's tall with a nice ass. Megami gives a standard basic answer of wanting a girl with a nice personality, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he says, but it's something along those lines. And Toto basically considers him an enemy and begins to beat the crap out of him. Of course, the scene sets up Toto and Yuji's relationship later. When Yuji gives the same answer to Toto that he originally gave, it pretty much tells Toto that he's found a kindred spirit. It's simple and basic, but works well at establishing Toto's personality, making him relatable and establishing a good setup for later. Him and Yuji, at the end of the day, are just simple guys. Meatheads, but bros all the same, and I really like that. What are some of the things that I don't think worked or maybe could use some improvement? There were a few times when I felt that the music didn't really match the tone of what was going on. I have a bigger gripe with this one in Season 2, especially during a certain really important fight that gets built up since Season 1, but there's still a few times I remember in this season where it was off for me. This is probably more of a preference thing, and I'm definitely not referring to the intros, as those have always been great. You could make an argument that maybe Yuji comes across as a bit overpowered and learns extremely quickly, considering the short amount of time that passes between him going from a regular high school student to a competent jujutsu sorcerer able to stand up to some pretty powerful curses. But I feel like it's mostly explained and justified. He's established in the first episode as being freakishly strong, and characters remark on it all throughout the season, so it's intentional, and he's also trained by Gojo on top of that. Not to mention that the role that Sukuna, the King of Curses, plays in his life. So I was fine with it at the end of the day. Other than that, I feel like I'd be pretty much nitpicking, just to nitpick, but I'd love to know if any of you thought differently and thought that there were other things that maybe needed more improvement. I would definitely recommend this one to everyone. If you like action or supernatural demonic themes or just compelling characters being placed in extremely dangerous situations, then this one is for you. If you're new to anime, then this is a great start because it doesn't have 1,000 or more episodes like One Piece or something like that, which is this enormous mountain of content to climb up. And if you're already a veteran or have already seen this one, then I'd recommend going back for a rewatch, as I've seen this season about 3 times now, and I haven't been bored, and I still find new and interesting things now to go back to and learn about now that I know more about the world and the mechanics of it all. I will say though that there's some dark and even brutal scenes of gore, violence, and just some messed up stuff that happens to a lot of people, earning it the horror rating. So if those things make you uncomfortable, then this one might not be for you. So my question to you guys is, since most of you have already seen this one, what other animes would you recommend for me that fall into the same categories of dark, supernatural, and with a decent amount of action as well? Please let me know in the comments below, and if you did enjoy this review and you've made it to the end so far, then please consider hitting the like button and the subscribe button and hitting the bell icon to be notified when my new videos drop. I try to post at least once a week, and I'll be cranking out more of these reviews. Thanks so much, as always, for watching, guys, and I hope y'all have a great freaking day.